everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. I'm going to do an in-depth stamping video in this video. That doesn't make any sense. I'm going to do an in-depth stamping video basically. This is what this video is going to be. It's like a 101 lesson style video, because I do have lots of comments in the videos that I do stamp in saying that you have problems and stuff like that. So I have actually said in my last video that will have gone up on Thursday for you to ask me questions, but I'm filming this video before that even goes up, so that didn't really make any sense for me to do. So I'm going to try and like give as much knowledge in this video as physically possible, include as much as I can. If I do find that anyone asks any questions that I don't think are covered in the video, then I will pop some comments and pin them in I will pop a pinned answering questions comment sort of thing in my comment section to answer any that I don't think I've touched on. So first things first, I'm going to show you my products that I use for stamping before I actually go ahead and do it, so I don't have to keep showing you throughout. And then you can obviously, if you don't care what I use, you can just skip through this bit, but I'm hoping it won't take too long. So first things first, my absolute like necessities of colours are of course silver, gold, black and white. You can't go wrong with these colours. In fact, I can't remember the last time I actually used a proper colour of stamping polish. I will show you those in a sec. These I use all the time. You can see here that there's not much in my white left. I do replace them, not often, but like more often than anything else, because black and white is really popular. The Moyu ones I have found are fab. I have used others in the past, but I really get on with these and they're easily accessible because you can get them on Amazon. So they're the ones that I use the most. Next up, we've got this product, which is from Moira, and it is a stamping gel. It's black, because I got the black one, as you can see. This is what it looks like. It's really, really thin, and it's basically for foils and chrome and all that sort of stuff. It's brilliant, basically. It's really, really good. So you just pop this on. You cure it. This one is quite easy to use as well because it's a gel. You have more time to work with it, so when it's on your stamper or even on the plate, you don't have to do everything as quick because it's not going to naturally dry before you have time to use it. So it's really good for that. But once you've like done this on your plate and then you've scraped it off, you've picked it up with your stamper, you've popped it on the nail, you then pop it in the lamp and cure it. And then when it comes out, it remains tacky, not dried completely. So you can stick things onto it like foil or chrome and stuff like that. So that one's really good. And then the others, I'm not going to pick them all up. All of these are all clear jelly stamper ones. These are the really tiny. I think they're about 5mm or something, but you really don't need a lot of stamping polish. Unless it's like your blacks and whites and stuff like that. You're going to use a lot of like colours. You can get away with the smaller ones. So there's lots and lots of different colours in here. I've got a couple of, that needs to go because it's obviously dried up, but I've got a couple of the collections, oh gosh, in here. But like I say, I don't have a clue what's happened to this blue, but it's definitely dried up, so that's going to have to go in the bin. But yeah, I don't really use the colours, to be honest. They're just there in case I need them, but it's not very often. So I've got some just flat colours like flat blues and pinks, purples and everything like that. And then there's also a corresponding shimmer to most of the colours as well. So there's a plain and then a shimmer. So like I said, I bought those in collections. So I've probably bought 2 collections, one with the normal colours, one with the shimmers. Anyway, so that's the hem. And then in terms of other stamping products, like this is stamper I use. I don't particularly use anything in particular stamper wise. I find that when you've got the knack for stamping, it doesn't, I generally don't believe it really matters what products you use. It's been a really long time, like since I've sort of got the knack of stamping, I've not tried to use something and it just not worked. So I think once you've mastered it, you can sort of get away with using anything, because I've got such a variety of products. Like this one was really, really cheap. It came in a set with a scraper from somewhere like Shein or something like that. Really cheap. Cost £1 or so or something. Got this really expensive clear jelly stamper one, which I never use because it's way too big. It's not necessary. And I've also got this one, which is broken. I still use it all the time. And this one was from Nail Decals by Design. It came in a little set. It's really good. And there's also this one, which as you can tell by how dusty it is, I really don't use this one. but there's no reason I don't use it. The main reason I don't use this one is because it's got pigment on it, because I use this for any pigment stamping that I do. And if you undo the bottom, not the bottom, the middle, sorry. I was getting really confused then. If you undo the middle of this one, there's actually another one in there, but it's not a clear one, so you can't see through to see where you're putting it. So I don't use that one because I've never really understood the point in the ones that are not clear. So that is one tip actually I'd say, is make sure you get a clear stamper that you can see through from doing it underneath. This has also got another one on the bottom as well, so that's got two. So I think that's it for stampers. In terms of scrapers, anything you'll do that's got a straight edge, basically. You can use an old card, like debit card, credit card, that sort of thing. You can get these types from Born Pretty that are really flimsy. They might be better for you. Everyone works differently with different products. This one's more like the credit card. It's really thick and doesn't really bend a lot, not very movable. This one is from Clear Jelly Stamp, and it's really small. This one is the same as one I just showed you, but actually a bit cleaner. And then this is the Moira one. Moira do loads. I think they're £1 something. So pretty easy to add onto an order, and it doesn't cost you a lot extra. So I use any of those. It really doesn't make a difference. There's also one here that's really pretty. I don't remember where this is from. It might have been the one that came with this actually. It's really nice. It's got a lovely little design on it, but obviously that makes no difference. As long as the edge is nice and smooth, that's the main thing you're looking for with a scraper. Then in terms of actual plates, I use them from all over the place, expensive to really, really cheap. Like I said, if you've got the knack, I think you're all good. There is some times where you can sort of tell if a plate's going to sort of work or not by just touching it. Because if you run your finger over it or your nail or whatever, if you can't feel any dent, like the whole point of stamping, of course, is that this image is set back a little bit into the plate, so you'll be able to feel it because it'll be rough because it goes inwards. So the whole idea is to place some polish on, to scrape it off to get all the excess above the image off, so only what is inside the grooves of the image will be left there, and then you pick that up and that's the image. So if there's no grooves and they're really, really like there's not enough, it's not deep enough for the polish to sit in, that's when a plate won't work. So sometimes that does happen, and it's just one of those things. It's very frustrating, but it is rare, I must say, because I do buy a lot of cheap plates, and I can quite easily say I've only had that problem maybe once or twice with some plates that were really cheap. So it's not the end of the world anyway, because they're really cheap to start with. So that one I've just showed you is a Born Pretty plate. I've also got plates like this one that was from Temu, whatever you want to call it. And then I've also got more higher end, but not really expensive, like Moira. And then I've got the more expensive ones that are from Clear Jelly Stamper, like this one. So just from all over the place, really. And then I've also got a couple from Nicole Diary. They're really cheap. So honestly, price is not really that important when it comes to stamping. You can get away with spending a lot less than you feel you probably need to. You can get different shaped plates. You can get little square ones, little circular ones, the medium ones that I just showed you, the large ones that I just showed you. Like, there's all sorts of different ones, and it just depends on what images are on them and whether you want them or not. That's all you're going by. You can also get little wallets to hold them in. You can get these cheap online or from Clear Jelly Stamp and places like that. And you can get all sorts of different images of stamping. So we're going to go ahead and do some stamping now, so it's not just me talking at you for the rest of the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a few nails and I'm going to just paint them a base colour off camera, just for me to just show the stamping, so this doesn't end up too long. So you don't have to bear with me because I'll be straight back here when I've done it, but 1 second and I'll be back with some painted tips. Right, so I've just painted all of these nails just with one quick coat of colour. They're all pretty good coverage anyway, so we can get away with one. So the first thing that I've done, because I'm going to be doing full stamping on all of them, is I have removed the tacky layer. If you leave if your gel has got any sort of tacky layer, really, this is like tip number 1, by the way. If your tacky layer is still on there and then you put your no, I'm going completely off topic. I'm going to say it anyway, because I'm going to do one with some foil underneath, like just to mix it up a little bit. So we will go to the whole foil thing as well, just cross over it slightly. But if anyone does want an in-depth foil application video, then do let me know about that as well. But what I was saying with the stamping part of this is, if you're stamping, sorry, I just can't get the words out right now. If your inhibition layer is still on your gel, not always will your stamping actually stick to it, basically. So you might do this, then it will almost be like it's sort of like moving around because your nail is slippy, basically. So it's always best to remove that. But I'm also going to do, like I just said, I'm going to do one with some foil gel, so we can stamp on top of a foil for you to see how effective that is. So I'm just going to quickly find a foil. In fact, I found one and it's orange, so I'm going to do that on the orange one just so I don't have to search for all my foils for a different one to match. So I'm going to pop some foil gel over this entire nail, and we're going to do like a patchy effect and then stamp over that. Because it goes quite a lot deeper, like stamping. Like, you don't just have to have a plain nail and then stamp over it and that's done. So we're going to cover a couple of different bases on what you can do. The thing is, and I need to put this in front of the sensor. I need to put something in there to keep the sensor going. There we go. Right. Oh gosh, sorry. So just curing that, and then we'll start with that nail first, just because it's the one that I'm doing first, basically. So I'm going to find a design to go over that. So I'm just going to look through my stamping plates and see what I think will go. I think I might do like an animal-y one. Because it's orange, I think I'm going to do this, and we're going to use black. So it's almost going to be like tiger print. So this plate in specific is the Moira stamping plate number 4. It's the animalistic one. You can see the details of it up here. And I'm going to use this image here. So like I said, I'm going to go in with black stamping polish for this one. Where have I put the black? Oh, I've put it in the lamp, obviously. That's the one that I've put in there to keep my lamp on. So we're going to go in with black. First things first, before doing absolutely anything, you want to make sure that everything you're going to be using is clean and right next to you, because everything to do with stamping, aside from that foil stamping gel I showed you, needs to be pretty quick. Stamping polishes are made specifically to dry faster than normal polishes and to be more pigmented, because you need a lot of pigment in a really small amount of product. So if you use a normal polish that's not a stamping polish, it might not be pigmented enough to be able to use it in one really thin coat, like just for the design. And it also might not air dry quick enough to be used as a stamping polish, because if it's still wet entirely when you go to put it on the nail, it's not going to stick because it's going to be slippery. So you also want to make sure everything's clean. So I'm just making sure that my stamper is clean, and also the nail, of course, itself. That's been in there for way too long now, so my foil's probably not going to stick. But let's just see if we can get some patches out of it, because that's all I wanted to do anyway. Let's just find the end of the foil. So I'm just going to dab this on, like I said, in completely random patches. If I was doing a full coverage nail, I'd make sure to put the exact same pressure over the entire nail, but I'm not. I'm just putting pressure wherever my thumb hits it, basically, and then pulling it straight off. So once I've done that, that is what it looks like. Very pretty. I love that foil. It's not going to focus because it's looking at my stamping plate instead. There we go, there you can see it. So like I said, we're going to use this bit here. So first things first, you want to make sure that you put enough product on to cover the entire image. And if the only way that you can really do that and judge it is to cover the whole image, you can do that. Just do it like that. You know for a fact there's enough on there. You're going to get your scraper, sorry, not stamper, and you're going to pull over the entire image at about a 45-degree angle, and then roll over it and just scoop it up that way. I'm going to move that out of the way really quick, just so it doesn't affect the focus. And then we're going to pop this straight onto the nail, like so. And there we have a perfect tiger print nail. So I'm going to put that onto the side because I'll top coat them all at the end. So that's the first one, and that was my first couple of tips. 45-degree angle to scrape off. If you put too much pressure on scraping, you'll end up pulling some of the image away, because if you put too much pressure on your stamper, it will literally pull the product from out of the grooves, and you don't want to do that. You've just got to imagine that just I don't really know how to help you visualize it, because everyone learns differently, but if you've got something that dips slightly and you're pulling something over the top, like say this for example obviously has a massive dip, but just imagine it doesn't. If you went over like this, if there was some sugar in here and you went over like, obviously not dipping it up, but if you went over like this, it would level off the top, so you'd have the perfect amount of sugar in there. If you then went in with this and dug deeper and put too much pressure on and end up pushing that in and then pulling it up, you'd have a dip where the sugar was, wouldn't you? So obviously that dip then is where there is no polish on the plate, if that makes any sense. To some people it will, to some people it won't. I'm just trying to explain it in different ways to hopefully get through to more people, if that makes any sense. So that one's that done. We're going to put this to the side now because we've used this plate. I want to try and mix it up. Use some different ones. So that's one example of how you can stamp. You can do it over the top of foils, which is really cool. For the next design, I'm going to use this plate here, which is from Moira as well, and it is stamping plate 15 called Lace Love, and it's got all these different images on. We're going to use this one up the top, and then we're going to stamp on top of this stamping as well to see that you can get extra. So with this one, we're sort of going for the same thing. This has already got like the crisscross sort of effect in the background, and then it's got flowers on the top. We're going to create this but with two different stamps instead, just to show that you can do that as well. So I'm going to use this one, and then we're going to find a floral one. I'm going to pop that on top of that. That one will do there, that's perfect. That's got the roses on it. So we're going to do this with the pink nail, I think, probably. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the base design like this one in white and then the top one in red, just so we can see that you can layer different stamps and stuff. I mean, it might look awful, it might look fantastic. We're never going to know unless we try, so let's get on with it. So again, I'm just getting a lint-free pad. I'm wiping over the whole design on the plate and then also going over with my finger just to make sure. Sorry, I just had to take a lint-free wipe out of my dog's mouth. You just run your finger over it just to make sure that there's no lint, or if you're using a cotton pad, there's no cotton pieces or anything like that just lying around, because that will interfere with it and it's really annoying. So, like I said, we're going to go in with the white now. So again, before I do anything, I want to clean my stamper off to make sure there's nothing on there that's going to interfere with the design. And then we're going to go straight in with the white. You don't have to put the polish all over the image. You could just put a big blob of it at the top and then pull it down. It's completely up to you and what you think works best for you. And then we're just going to roll over that image, and that will pick it up like so. And then just roll it over. It's not quite big enough for the nail, but it's fine. It has gone a bit strange here because I did actually, I don't know if you noticed, but when I pressed down I did stretch the image a bit. So when it got to here, I pulled upwards while it was still touching to try and get it to stretch up here. So that's why it's got a bit funny down there, but it's fine. So now we've done that, you definitely want to make sure in this that you're giving it enough time to dry. Like I said, they don't need long to dry because they are literally made to dry quick, but just wait for it to dry before you put anything on top of it, because you don't want each thing to stick to each other, and then when you put your next one on, for it to rip the first layer off. So I'm going to get rid of that one, get this one out, and like I said, we're going to use this image here, and we're going to use red this time. So I'm going to use my clear jelly stamper red. Just going to give it a shake to make sure all the pigments are evenly distributed. And then again, I'm going to go straight in with a lint-free pad to wipe over the image before any use, whether it's got any polish on it still or not. Make sure it's nice and clean. Go over with my finger. Go over with the red polish. If I remember rightly, this red comes out quite pink, but it's fine. Obviously it's on pink anyway, so it should go quite well. I'm going to pick that up. There's the roses, if you can see them. And then we're going to pop them straight on top. And that's what that looks like. Beautiful. You've got the white underneath and then the red. So that's two different ways to stamp so far. So next up, we're going to do some stamping on top of glitter. I'm just going to use this. Red is the same in stamping polish as it is in any other type of polish. It gets everywhere, so just be aware of that. So I'm just going to pop a coat of glitter. You can use, I don't know, to use loose glitter. No, I'm going to use gel polish glitter just to make it quicker. But you can use loose glitter as well. I've got a beautiful blue glitter that I want to use, so I'm going to pop that on blue, of course, and it's like a holographic see-through. So I'm going to do a coat of that. It's just a blue sky colour. Sorry about the sirens in the background, if you can hear them. So there's that. I'm going to pop that into the lamp. We'll do a different one while we're waiting for that to save a bit of time. So we've got a purple left and a mint colour. These are the two we've got left. So I'm going to use this plate here. I did do a video with this plate not long ago, but I've got to assume that obviously not everyone's seen it, so we can get away with using it again. So this is the one that I showed you that was from Temu or Temu, whatever. It is the Finger Angel XL10, and it is a abstract stamping plate. It's really, really fun. So we can use multiple different colours of stamping polish for this one, which is exciting. So we're going to use ones that, of course, don't... In fact, on this blue, sorry, just a bit of a sidetrack, I'm going to do a coat of this other blue gel as well, with glitter in on top, just to get even more glitter. It'll be even more obvious underneath the stamping. Beautiful. So I'm going to pop that back in the lamp anyway. Back on track. So we can use multiple different colours of stamping polish on the same nail, layered basically. So I'm going to use, we want to make sure that we start with the lightest on the bottom. So if we're going to use white, I'm going to do that first. So that's what we'll do. So I'm going to go ahead with this one here. The screen looks really dark because the light on my desk is reflecting off the stamping plate, to be honest, but I can't really do a lot about that, I'm afraid. So again, the first thing I do is just clean off my stamper every time. Eventually you will want to clean your scraper, because if this edge gets too built up with product, it won't scrape off properly, and then that is a problem. So you do want to make sure you're cleaning it. So I'll just get a bit on a little bit of acetone and then just clean the very edge, including the actual edge. So I'm pushing down on the edge to make sure it's nice and smooth, because that's the bit that interacts obviously with the image, and you want to make sure it's nice and smooth. So I'm going to go in with some white first of all on this image here. Very random, and I love this sort of design. And we're actually going to keep that second image on there. I'm going to apply them both like so, because it's quite a large nail. This isn't the size of a human nail. They're very wide and bulky. So once I've done that, I'm going to look at my colours. I think I've got a lavender sort of colour, which is way too close to the colour of the actual nail. I don't want it to blend in. So I'm going to use these two, the purple and then the purple shimmer as well. So I don't know whether I want to do that or whether I want to use silver, but we'll find out in a minute. I'm going to use this one. So I'm actually going to use the exact same two images again, but apply them at a slightly different angle. If you go to pick up your image at this point and it doesn't pick up on your stamper, it's because it's dry, basically. You waited too long to pick it up. That's all it is. So you just need to be quicker with the pickup process. That's what that looks like. In fact, I think I'm going to keep doing this, but just in different colours, if that makes any sense to you. So I think the last one I'm going to use, in fact, no, I think black's a bit overkill. I think I'm going to go in with silver, and then maybe a white again on top of that. But I'm just going to keep using the same image and just see how it looks when it keeps getting layered. So yeah, what I was saying is if it doesn't pick up from here to your stamper, it's because it's dried on here. If you go like this and it doesn't come on there, it's dried on your plate, so you need to get in with your stamper to pick it up quicker. If it's on here and then you go to put it on here and it sticks to your stamper, the same thing has happened, but you've picked it up quick enough, you just haven't transferred it to the nail quick enough. which goes back to what I was saying at the beginning when I said you really need to have everything next to you and clean and ready to use ASAP, basically. So you can go straight in. Just going to pop that one up there. I'm going to put a bit of that one there and then the rest of it down here. So that's what that looks like so far. And I think I'm going to go in with the white once more. And then that's it. I'm leaving it there because I don't want it to be overkill. And it's definitely going to go that way if I keep going. So again, just cleaning off this. My stamper is right next to me, just here, next to my plate. My plate's here. My scraper is also right next to me down here. Everything is ready to go straight away, so I don't have to worry when I'm halfway through trying to grab everything and get it ready to use it. That's the only downside to everything drying so quick, is having to use it so quickly. Just filling in some gaps with the white, adding some dimension. Like so. I love how that turned out. I wasn't planning on doing this at all, but I love how it turned out. So I'm going to get rid of the plate so you can see it properly. So that is that nail. Very different. Very, very easy, as you saw, to create. But looks really, really cool. You do that with any colours as well. So we've got 2 nails left. We've got this one that I've popped into the lamp with the glitter on. I'm just going to wipe off the tacky layer for reasons I stated at the beginning. Like so. And then we're going to find an image to stamp on there. So for this one, I'm going to use this plate, which is a Nicole's Diary L04. There's lots of different shapes and fun stuff on this one. It's very random. The dog is moaning at me, as per usual. So I think I'm going to use this one because blue sort of gives me like bubbles vibes. So that's the sort of thing I'm going to go for. So I'm just going to clean off the plate again. Over my finger, clean off my stamper. And then go straight in. I think I'm going to use white because I think that will show up better than anything else on this colour. And I don't obviously have the dark blue now because I had to throw that away at the beginning of the video because it is definitely past its use by. And I'm just going to scoop those up, take off any excess, and then actually I don't like that one, something different. That doesn't look fun at all. So I'm going to change my mind, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one, and then I'm going to use one of these to sort of outline it. So I'm going to go in with that. Actually, I don't think that'll show up very well. That's pretty cool though, isn't it? Right, I'm going to use this one. Final offer. I've gone through the whole plate at this point, so if I don't like this, then we're doomed. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to go on with this one. I'm going to use the white. Gently scrape off the excess, go over that, and I'm just going to do it on one part of the nail. So I'm going to do it there. And then I'm going to get a line to outline it because we've got all these lines at the top, so I might as well use them. So I'm going to go in with, I want one thick enough to see it, but not one too thick or it's going to look strange. So I'm going to use one of the middle ones up here, I think. I'm going to go in with one of those. I'm just going to cover them all in white, and then whichever one turns out best on my stamper is the one that I'll decide to go ahead and use. Not put a lot of product on there, so I'm not sure if any of them are going to turn out very well. Oh, they're fine. So I'm going to use this one on the end just because, well, both ends are fine actually. We'll get rid of those. Just using my stamper to get off all the excess. And then I'm going to go straight in and apply this line to the outline of the previously laid design. So that's what that one looks like. Very cute. So we've got 4 so far going on. And then last but not least, we've got this mint coloured one. So I need to find something that will go nice with that. So for this next nail, I don't actually do this very often, to be honest. I've only done it maybe once or twice. So So it's quite ironic that I'm going to try and teach you how to do it, and I really don't know how to do it myself, but we're going to try it. We'll try it together. I'm going to use this image here, these peacock feathers, because they are beautiful, and I'm going to do like an ombre sort of effect of what's it called, stamping with this one. So we're going to use all 4 of these at the same time. So I'm just going to shake them all up for a start and make sure that, like I said with the last one, that all the pigments are evenly distributed throughout the bottle of polish, so you get them all nice and neat. Got a pretty tired arm, so if it's not distributed now, I don't know when it will be. So I'm just going to open them all first of all, so they're all ready to use straight away. My stamper is already clean. I'm going to clean the plate in a second. So I'm going to clean my scraper as well. Let's make sure it's ready to go. So everything's ready. I just need to clean the plate. And I want to place all of these colours on at the same time and hopefully blend them together a little bit. I don't know if they're going to look any good, especially because this colour is basically the colour of the nail. But it's fine, we'll see. It's not difficult to wipe. But this is the good thing about stamping actually, is it is normal polish of course, so you can quite literally just wipe it off and start again. So we're going to start down here with this. You've got to be really quick for this technique, because obviously as you're doing every colour, they are all drying, which isn't ideal, but it's just one of them. Should have probably done them a bit thicker really, but never mind. So once I've done that, I'm going to go sideways this time, and I'm just going to wipe over them a few times to bring all the colours together. I'm going to pick up the image, take off the excess that we don't want, and then place it straight onto the nail. Like so. Looks amazing, but I definitely didn't choose the right colours, because obviously the background is really light and we've got white in the light colour at the top, but I'm going to leave it as it is because it's beautiful. In fact, I might just, obviously you've seen me do the technique now, so you know how to do it, but I'm going to take it off and just use that sparkly green, because I've never used that before, and I've only just now realised how much of a beautiful colour that is. So I'm just going to do the whole thing in that, I think. But you understand the idea anyway, like the technique was there. Just use colours that are appropriate. This is what happens when I don't plan out my videos. Like, I painted all these base colours, not having a clue what I was actually going to put on top of them. I will definitely do that again with different colours because it looked lovely. It's a very scrapey sort of sound because it's got glitter actually in the polish. But it's beautiful. Love the glittery polish. Look at that. It's gorgeous. So anyway, that's all 5 of our designs. I'm just going to quickly top coat them off camera and tidy my desk, get rid of everything, and then I'll show you how they all turned out. So here is them all finished and top coated and all glossy. Just waiting for it to focus. I'm really, really happy with how they all turned out, to be honest. Very, very pretty. Let me know which ones your favourites are. My top 3 are definitely this one and those 2. I absolutely love how that turned out. That's really funky. Definitely be doing that again on a client soon if anyone gives me free rein. But yeah, I hope this video was useful. Like I said, if there was any questions that I got, or if you've got any at the end of this video that I didn't answer, do let me know and I will pop a pinned comment in the comments. And yeah, that's it. I hope it was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye.